Overlanders.
Welcome to another DIY home repair video. This one's pretty simple. Most home repairs are pretty simple. You just need the right tools and, of course, time, because time is everything. So today we are working on our deck. As you can see, I tore out the steps already. This was actually a couple weekends ago, and it was raining. I was out here, it was soaking wet, but I wanted to get some kind of progress done. We are basically replacing anything that's rotten. I was starting to pull these treads off, and then noticed even the stringers are rotten. So we're just replacing the entire steps. And then there's several deck boards, about a dozen or so out there on the deck that we're going to be replacing. So anything that's got some rot on the ends that is no longer solid is going to get replaced, or there's one board that has like a big knot that fell out, so there's a big hole in it. So you can see here there's some rot, so any board like this is going to get replaced. And it's all, and this whole bottom piece, it's all kind of mush, but there's a lot of good wood still. I am replacing all of the top pieces here across the deck because they see the most weather. I have refinished and restained this several times in the years we've lived here. So I know most of the wood is good, but anything that is not is going to get replaced. And as I started taking things apart, the bottom of the stair posts are all rotten. So first thing we gotta do, I gotta dig some holes with those post hole diggers to be able to put the new posts in and line up with those handrails there, and to build a whole new set of steps. What are you doing? Are you actually helping me? The original posts look like they were only in about 18 inches. So this post, there's roughly 18 inches left, so I'll just use the entire length of this post. And I'm just going to draw a line here to get the angle exact, because the top of the handrail sat flush across the top of this post. So we're going to mark that, cut that, and start mounting these posts to the end of those handrails there. Alright, I got the top of the posts cut on the angles and clamped into place. Holes dug, posts in place. I'm just going to secure them with like a couple of screws each. I am not going to fill them in because I need some movement either way to make sure they are true with the steps. So I'll get these secured, and then what are we doing next?
The steps?
Yes! Putting the steps together. I did cut some of these already. They're 36 inches wide exactly. So I've got two 36-inch pieces of 2x4 here to put across the bottom. Alright, one thing I caught before I finished putting this together was this measurement here, the thickness of this bottom step. The new stringers were thicker here, so I double checked measurements over there. That one's only 4 1/4 thick, so I had to cut these off, or else that would have caused a problem trying to get it to fit exactly into that spot. So luckily I caught that before I started putting everything together. Alright, I got the basic framing done here of the steps, and now I'm just going to cut the pieces of tread for this top step here, so I can make sure that's all going to fit right into that open space like a puzzle. Alright, got the root out of the way, so we're going to bring those steps in here. No, we're not. We're going to pull all those nails out first. Whoa! Alright, I wrestled this thing into place. I did have to dig out some more of this dirt here to make room for those boards on the bottom there. But we are level across, and we are level this way. And I did then, basically I measured from this point up to this point to make sure they were even on both sides, 37.5. So we are true with our steps and our posts, and now I am going to run the rest of the tread. Alright, just an update here. I keep moving along faster than I can record, but I basically have the installed 5.5-inch boards fit right in there for the, so I do have to get more wood though, and I don't have my jigsaw here at the house, so I couldn't notch this to finish that tread. I wasn't sure if I was going to do casting or not, but I decided to because it looks nicer. So I gotta go grab some more wood. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if you're using pressure treated lumber, get the ground contact pressure treated. There are different kinds that you can get. The ground contact will last the longest. I did get the handrails installed. There's just one angle cut here at the top, and then cut them to length, so they are good to go. And what I am going to do is get a sander and just round the edges and make it all nice before I actually finish completely. All right, I'm about wrapping up for the day. I do have to run to Home Depot one more time. I'm gonna get just what I need to finish, even though I'm not gonna use it all today. So I'm gonna run to Home Depot, get what I need. I'll be right back. All right, back from Home Depot, and I cut the... So we're just gonna put that in place. I got 2 of the top pieces for the railing replaced. Just take the old screws out, pop it off, measure it, cut the new piece, put that in. All right, I decided to keep going because I have daylight, and why not? So we're actually putting in the last piece right now. This 2x4 along here was all kinds of rotten. You can see all this crap that fell off when I was pulling it off. We got that cut and in place, and I'm just gonna put the screws in to hold all of these in. And I got all the top pieces across the whole deck done, and we're gonna call it a day, because the best part is cleaning up all of this crap. And that's gonna do it for today. We still have the deck boards to do. There's 10 deck boards I am replacing, but Alex is gonna take them out for me during the week, so I can just cut them and pop them in. Well, it's another day, another headache. As you can see, there's a rotten right there. All the rest, none of them are rotten, just one. So Alex attempted to take some of these boards out, but all of the screws are stripped, corroded. He was using a Phillips head, so I grabbed the square head. Some of the screws came out. Some do what I want, some did not. I got a jigsaw, finding the boards that I'm pulling, cutting them, prying, ripping the screws right out of the wood, whatever it takes to get these boards out of here. And then I uncovered another problem, so this just turned into a bigger project. We'll be replacing that as well, because it is literally a sponge. Well, it's a new day, and yes, I'm laying down on the job. I'm under my deck cutting out my joist, so let me show you what I've been doing. Well, I started ripping this joist out and then realized I should probably be recording this. I basically pulled all these screws out, take my handy Sawzall, and just ripped the joist in several pieces. Rotten pieces fall out easy. You can see them down there on the ground. And then just pry the ends off the nail. So I'm working my way to the house. That's as far as we got here. It's only taken about 20 minutes to get this far. And that brings us back to where I am at this point. And I am pulling this section out right now. As you can see, the whole top of it is rotten. So it actually comes out pretty easy. And now I gotta take all the screws out from up above, but only after I get that last piece off attached from the house. All right, seriously, taking that old bracket off was probably the hardest part of the whole damn job. These braces here, joist braces, you got all these nails so close together. That took about 20 minutes alone, prying that thing off of that board. Now we just gotta pop these screws up through, and that's it for today. All right, we're back above ground. I just tapped all these screws up so I can get them easier without having to climb back down there. So we're gonna pull all these screws out and call it a day.
Yes. Then you can
Why?
take me to my dance.
Oh, please. Come out.
Come out wherever you are.
Come out, little screw. Last one for tonight. See you tomorrow. And that finishes the treads on the step. And now we are set up to cut the joist, install the joist, start putting the deck boards in. We're on the home stretch. Some of these home repair videos, I go over some of the frustrations of doing your own home repairs, and I got a new one for you. because I'm dealing with 16-foot boards, I ordered them online through Home Depot to have them delivered to my house, so I didn't have to stuff 16-foot boards in my minivan. I placed the order on Thursday for a Friday delivery of the 2x10x16 joist that I needed to replace. So the delivery came Friday while I was at work. I get home, see the board in the front yard, and I was thinking to myself, that doesn't look like a 10-inch wide board. So I got my tape, double checked it. It's not, it's an 8-inch board. So they delivered a 2x8x16. So I quick ran in, called, said, hopefully you can make this right before Saturday because I really want to get this job done over the weekend. They said, no problem. You just have to place an order for the 2x10x16, another order, and when we drop that off and pick up the wrong board, that one will get scanned in as a return and I'll get credited for that one. So I said, perfect, I'm willing to take that chance. I need the board. This morning I had some things to do before I started working on the deck, so the delivery came just before I got home, supposedly of the correct board. I get home, probably within 10 minutes of them dropping it off, because they called, left a message saying they were 10 to 15 minutes away. Alas, I pulled in, the board was in the front yard in a different spot, so I knew it was the new board that was dropped off. Get out again and say, that's not a 10-inch board. It is another 2x8x16. They literally took a 2x8x16 and dropped off another 2x8x16. Yes, customer service sucks. The service industry sucks. The pandemic has ruined so much of the working world of the service industry. I don't even understand how it could be so messed up and how people could just be plain old dumb or not paying attention, whatever the reason. It's just inexcusable. It's stuff that has never happened prior to the pandemic. I shouldn't say never. It rarely happened. Didn't happen as much. But every time you turn around to try to do something or seek service for something, it is messed up. Most likely messed up. Things are back ordered, supply chain issues, people providing the service are not as good anymore. So my only recourse for this was to jam the 16-foot board in the back of my minivan, drive to Home Depot, return it, get the right board, come home, waste all that time. Oh, but they did refund me the original delivery charge. So at least I got that back. So the moral of the story is be prepared for things to always go wrong. Just always expect the lowest standards and you'll never be disappointed. That's just the frustrations of things in life getting in your way, and all you can do is pivot and get around them, plow through them to achieve your goals. Sometimes you gotta jam 16-foot boards in the back of your minivan to make things right. All right, to get these nails out, I had to pry these outside boards off so that I can hammer those nails out through this side in order to put the joist in. All right, I got the joist into place. I drug that thing from down there on an angle up that direction, put the far end up onto that support right there. All right, the end of that joist is secure, and I am now putting the bridges back in. This one's secure, got that one all lined up. Just gonna run the screws down each side here to secure it to the joists. I used a couple of washers on these screws to help pull things tight while I put all this back together good, because I'm using the original holes, so there wasn't going to be much wood there to bite, to grab and pull things in, and I didn't want to run that screw and blow out the hole completely. All right, let's get into the next two problems that need to be solved. Started installing the new deck boards, but these boards are slightly wider than the original boards. So guess what that means? I need to remove all of these old boards. I was going to remove that one anyway, and this one, but look, 4 more plus an end one. Might as well just wipe out this whole deck, and then from here over I can space out the boards properly. So now I don't even know if I'm going to get this finished this weekend. Oh well. Let me show you problem number 2. I started removing this board and saw the top of this joist rotten. I basically cut off a 2x4 width because there is no way I am replacing the whole side of this deck. I'm trying to get done, but this is the last of the rot. I checked thoroughly everything around everywhere else, and this was the last section of rot. There was some carpenter ants in here, so I will be spraying. So we're gonna lose this end board. You can see rot in that top board there, so that's where they were nesting. They all ran away when I popped that one off. I already traced out a 2x4, so that will fit perfectly in here to re-support that. I guess all the neighbors decide to mow the lawn on the same day. One wants to do it, the other one sees it and starts doing it, because it's been hours and there's been no lawnmower mowing, and now all of a sudden I want to record again, and the neighbors got the lawnmower out. So now instead of piecing in new boards here, I am going to pivot and remove the rest of these boards. It'll probably be $100 to $200 worth. Good morning, it is Sunday morning. We're back working on the never-ending deck. And what I've done so far is piece together that joist that had some rot. So I cut, I don't want to lose my place for this outside casing, but I basically cut a 2x4 to repair all of that rot that was across here. And then I put a couple of mending plates here and there to hold it in, but obviously you screw it into your bridge and across the front here. And I did end up bringing it all the way down to here because there was some soft spots right here too. So I just cut it all the way past, put a mending plate there to help hold it, put a mending plate down there. What I did was take a circular saw and cut it horizontally across as best I could. I have a cheap circular saw, so it didn't really do as good a job. And then I took my chisel and literally went across slow but steady across that edge down there to clean it up good. Cut the piece of pressure treated 2x4, so now that is all supported all the way down. I already measured and cut this outside casing piece as well. So that is the next thing I'm putting in place. And I cut this end at a 45 already, so we're ready to attach this and continue working. And another neighbor's mowing their lawn. So I've got all the deck boards that I have here cut and in place, not screwed down, because I realized I need spacers. So I could eyeball it, but some of them are a little warped, and I'm gonna need spacers as I go to fasten them securely and keep them even and nice looking. We are going away in a couple days to Florida, so we're gonna have some videos of that trip coming up soon, as well as a moving to Florida update. But as far as this project, I'm gonna have to end it here and then do an update at some point in a couple of weeks when I'm actually finishing up, because it is supposed to rain. So I gotta clean up today's mess as well as yesterday's mess before it gets rained on and all soaking wet. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe below. It is free to subscribe, but it does help the channel out to grow. And if you want to find out how I finish this, because there's a little bit more to do, there'll be an update video coming soon. But until then, time is everything. Money is a tool, and you can't afford to waste either one. Until next time, last tag.